Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to what is sure to be a very special episode of the Business English Podcast. If you have been with us for some time, you are more than likely aware that we have reached a little milestone on our journey to business English mastery. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at episode 50. To date, we have learned to make a stellar first impression, observed the skills required to network like an accomplished socialite, and mastered the necessary requirements to present with power. We took a deeper dive into making small talk and navigating the rough seas of how precisely to start, run, and close meetings. We then really pushed the boat out and dealt with managing risk, dealing with conflict, talking on a telephone, offering advice, interrupting politely, navigating refusals, transitioning, and of course, the professional use of conditionals. But we didn't stop there. At every turn, we sought to expand our vocabulary, improve our pronunciation, and develop that all-important fluency. And that's all thanks to you. But we're not done here yet. There are more challenges afoot. Here's to the next 50. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Business English Podcast, helping professionals communicate more effectively, more confidently, and with impact. With your host, Rob, from Energetic English. Let's get down to business. Well, what an intro. As I'm sure you'll agree, we had to make a little something of the Big 5-0, so we thought we'd start as we mean to go on. A big intro for a big episode. As you will no doubt have guessed, we have put together something a little special for this mini milestone episode to help consolidate what we have been doing over the previous 49 episodes. So as of today, the release of episode 50, the podcast is just over a year old. And already we have covered so much ground. And as we mentioned during the intro, that is purely thanks to you, ladies and gentlemen. From all your great feedback, we've been able to consistently produce the content that you find most useful, so you can carry on smashing your communication goals and working towards mastery. We have listeners from so many different industries and backgrounds, from corporate to startup, from mainstream to extremely niche, and of course, from right across the international business stage. Listeners from Germany, Japan, Taiwan, Italy, Poland, Brazil, the US, the UK, France, Spain, Turkey, India, Mexico, South Korea, Saudi Arabia, Canada, Egypt, Hungary, Netherlands, Vietnam, Algeria, Indonesia, Australia, Morocco, Switzerland, Czech Republic, Thailand, Singapore, Iran, Austria, Colombia, Hong Kong, and many more. And so, how could we go about producing a cornerstone episode for the Business English Podcast? Well, after many hours of reviewing every single one of our episodes and diving into all the valuable feedback and comments from you guys, we have not one, but two surprises for you, in honor of making episode 50 an episode to remember. Now, the first surprise may not be such a surprise at all. For those of you astute enough to meticulously read all the show notes, you should have a pretty good idea of what today's episode entails. For those of you who haven't read it, and now frantically looking back at the show notes to see what it is, allow me to save you the trouble. To celebrate the 50th episode of the Business English Podcast, we turned our attention to consolidating everything we have learnt so far on our journey and fusing that with some real-world business conversational scenarios. And how are we going to do that? The answerphone showdown. Real-world business English answerphone messages. As promised, for the remainder of this episode, we are going to take you through a plethora of recorded business answerphone messages involving many different scenarios and contexts. They will require all your skills you have learned to date to truly grasp and understand the complexities of each message. Now, with this idea, it presented us with a challenge. How could we make this episode even better and more useful to you, the professionals in the arena, every day? So that is why we decided to produce a uniquely designed set of questions for each of the answer phone messages on today's episode. As I am sure you are very much aware, we believe in taking action and learning by doing here on the Business English Podcast. Now, of course, you can treat this episode in two very different ways. You can use it to listen passively and pick out what you can from the episode, or you can choose to saddle up and get close and personal with the material on today's episode by taking on the question sets for each episode. Now, no prizes for guessing which way is going to help you increase your skills the most. And this leads us nicely on to our second surprise of the episode. You see, with such great supporting material to enhance learning for this episode, where do we put these question sets we have designed for you? Well, drumroll please. I think we're going to have to pay the drummer boy royalties at this rate. So, we are going to put them on our brand new Business English Podcast website, of course. The new site not only has a fresh look and feel, but now has the entire catalogue of episodes, each with their own unique blog post, summarising key information from that episode, and you won't find this anywhere else. And we didn't stop there either. For the first time ever, we are now introducing a specially designed quiz for each and every episode we produce. And that's including all the ones we've done so far. You can find this mountain of amazing content, including the question sets for today's episode, at www.thebusinessenglishpodcast.com and navigating to the episodes tab. Be sure to add it to your favourites and let your colleagues, friends and peers know about it. It helps us help more professionals like you looking to improve their skills. And remember, for more in-depth learning with the Business English Podcast, including transcripts and read-along dialogue, pronunciation support, one-pagers, and much more, consider subscribing to the Business English Podcast Premium for full access. Well, after so much excitement, I think it's time to strap in and get down to business. Okay, so what's the sketch? How is this going to work? So essentially, we're going to split the remainder of this episode into 5 sections. Each section will have its own answer phone message and question set. Each section will begin with some context to get you in the right frame of mind. Then you will hear the answer phone message for the first time. Now, each answer phone message has been adapted for the podcast, but do expect some background noise and line interference. This is for realism and, of course, good training. You shall then hear a bank of 5 multiple choice questions. These questions and their answers can be found on our website as mentioned previously. Conducting this listening exercise on the site will allow for a much better experience. Once you have heard the 5 questions, you shall then hear the answer phone message again for the last time to see if you can improve upon your original understanding. From there, we shall move on to the next message. As we've already mentioned, conducting this episode with the guided support of the questions online will produce a better experience for you. Now, without further ado, let's step off. Alright, let's jump into our first section today. Travel is often an integral part of business life, and being able to communicate effectively while on the go is crucial. Let's listen to an answer phone message from John, who's stuck at the airport due to some unexpected issues. Hi, this is John from the sales team. Unfortunately, I've hit a snag at the airport. My flight to the client meeting in New York has been delayed due to bad weather. I've been twiddling my thumbs here for a few hours and it looks like I'll miss the initial meet and greet. If push comes to shove, I can join the meeting virtually, but the face-to-face interaction is really the icing on the cake for a deal like this. Can we brainstorm some backup plans? I'll be all ears as soon as I land. Call me back or shoot me an email. Thanks. Quite a situation for John, isn't it? The ability to navigate such scenarios with finesse can make or break a business opportunity. Now, let's get into those questions. Remember, the full quiz and answers are available for free on the website. Question 1. Who left the message? A. A client. B. John from the sales team. C. A person from the marketing department. Or D. The airport staff. Question 2. Why is John stuck at the airport? A. Because of a strike. B. Because of a personal issue. C. Because of bad weather. Or D. Because he missed his flight. Question 3. What meeting will John likely miss? A. A team meeting in his company. B. A client meeting in New York. C. A conference. Or D. An internal evaluation meeting. Question 4. What idiom did John use to express the importance of face-to-face interaction for the deal? A. Push comes to shove. B. Twiddling my thumbs. C. Icing on the cake. Or D. All ears. Question 5. Which of the following conditional expressions did John use in his message? A. If I were you. B. Unless it rains. C. If push comes to shove. Or D. If I had known. Alright, how did you fare with those questions? Need another go round? Okay, here is the message for the second time. Hi, this is John from the sales team. Unfortunately, I've hit a snag at the airport. My flight to the client meeting in New York has been delayed due to bad weather. I've been twiddling my thumbs here for a few hours and it looks like I'll miss the initial meet and greet. If push comes to shove, I can join the meeting virtually, but the face-to-face interaction is really the icing on the cake for a deal like this. Can we brainstorm some backup plans? I'll be all ears as soon as I land. Call me back or shoot me an email. Thanks. And now on to our second segment. Meetings are the heartbeat of the business world. Whether they're virtual or in person, efficient communication is essential for setting them up. So let's listen to an answerphone message from Sam, who's trying to arrange an important business meeting. Hello, it's Sam from the project management team. I'm reaching out because we need to touch base about the upcoming software release. We have some moving parts that really need to be nailed down before we go live, so I'd like to propose a meeting for next Tuesday at 3 p.m. if possible. Time is of the essence and I don't want to beat around the bush during the meeting. If next Tuesday doesn't work for you, I'm flexible and can move some things around. Please get back to me ASAP so we can iron out the details. Cheers. Well, Sam certainly seems to have his plate full. Setting up meetings can sometimes be more complicated than the meeting itself, as I'm sure you'll agree. Now, let's examine this through our questions. Question 1. Who is trying to arrange a meeting? A. A client. B. Sam from the project management team. C. A team leader. Or D. The CEO. Question 2. What is the main reason for the proposed meeting? A. To discuss hiring new employees. B. To talk about an upcoming software release. C. To plan a company event. Or D. To negotiate a contract. Question 3. What time did Sam propose for the meeting? A. Next Wednesday at 4 p.m. B. Next Tuesday at 3 p.m. C. This Friday at 1 p.m. Or D. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. Question 4. Which idiom did Sam use to stress the urgency of the meeting? A. Beat around the bush. B. Time is of the essence. C. Move some things around. Or D. Touch base. And question 5. Which phrasal verb did Sam use to indicate making adjustments to his schedule? A. Reach out. B. Iron out. C. Touch base. Or D. Move some things around. So how did you do? Don't forget that you can engage with these questions interactively on our website. But as for now, here it is again. Hello, it's Sam from the project management team. I'm reaching out because we need to touch base about the upcoming software release. We have some moving parts that really need to be nailed down before we go live, so I'd like to propose a meeting for next Tuesday at 3 p.m. if possible. Time is of the essence and I don't want to beat around the bush during the meeting. If next Tuesday doesn't work for you, I'm flexible and can move some things around. Please get back to me ASAP so we can iron out the details. Cheers. Alright folks, here we are at section 3. Networking is a cornerstone of business, but following up effectively can sometimes be a stumbling block. Let's listen to Alex's message as he tries to keep the momentum going with a new contact. Hey, it's Alex from Innovatech. We crossed paths at the tech conference last week and discussed synergies between our companies. I'm really keen to pick up where we left off. You mentioned a project you're spearheading that seems like it could dovetail nicely with our initiatives. I think we should seize the day and schedule a deep dive discussion. What does your schedule look like over the upcoming week? If the timing doesn't sync up, I'm open to putting a pin in it until our calendars align. Let me know. Cheers. Well, it's safe to say Alex really has his sights set on something fruitful there, doesn't he? Effective follow-ups are key in transforming network contacts into real opportunities. So let's dive into the questions. Question 1. Who is trying to follow up after networking? A client. B, Alex from Innovatech. C, Sarah from the project management team. Or D, John from the sales team. Question 2. Where did Alex meet the person he's trying to follow up with? A, at a company meeting. B, at a tech conference. C, at a social event. Or D, on an aeroplane. Question 3. What project-related term did Alex use to describe the compatibility between the two companies? A deep dive. B, synergies. C, momentum. Or D, a stumbling block. Question 4. What idiom did Alex use to suggest they should act quickly? A, pick up where they left off. B, dovetail nicely. C, seize the day. Or D, putting a pin in it. And question 5, what phrasal verb did Alex use to suggest rescheduling if necessary? A, sync up. B, pick up. C, deep dive. Or D, putting a pin in it. Now, how are you feeling about those questions? Quietly confident? Well, let's have another listen. Hey, it's Alex from Innovatech. We crossed paths at the tech conference last week and discussed synergies between our companies. I'm really keen to pick up where we left off. You mentioned a project you're spearheading that seems like it could dovetail nicely with our initiatives. I think we should seize the day and schedule a deep dive discussion. What does your schedule look like over the upcoming week? If the timing doesn't sync up, I'm open to putting a pin in it until our calendars align. Let me know. Cheers. Okay, let's now pivot into the 4th section of today's episode. Customer service is a crucial aspect of any business, and addressing complaints is part of the game. Pay close attention to the following messages from Ed, a customer service representative, as he tries to put out a fire with an unhappy client. Hi, this is Ed from Quality Tech Support. I'm getting in touch in regard to the issue you raised about our latest software update. I understand your frustration and want to get to the bottom of this. If all else fails, we're prepared to roll back the update for you. I assure you we're pulling out all of the stops to resolve this as promptly as possible. Could you please provide more specifics about the glitches you've encountered? Once we're on the same page, I think we can wrap this up quickly. Looking forward to hearing from you. Thanks. Bye. Ed certainly seems to have his work cut out there. Now, navigating complaints is never easy, so let's see how well you understood his approach through these questions. Question 1. Who is the person leaving the message? A. A client. B. A salesperson. C. Ed from Quality Tech Support. Or D. The CEO. Question 2. What is the subject matter of the complaint? A. Billing issues. B. Poor customer service. C. A software update. Or D. Late delivery. Question 3. What is Ed prepared to do if they can't resolve the issue? A. Offer a discount. B. Roll back the update. C. Provide a full refund. Or D. Replace the product. Question 4. Which idiom did Ed use to express that they are taking every possible action to resolve the issue? A. Get to the bottom of this. B. Pulling out all the stops. C. On the same page. Or D. Doing our due diligence. And question 5. What conditional phrase did Ed use to indicate a last resort solution? A. If all else fails. B. Once we're on the same page. C. Could you please? Or D. Looking forward to. So how did you get on with those questions? Let's have another listen to see if you've got them all. Hi, this is Ed from Quality Tech Support. I'm getting in touch in regard to the issue you raised about our latest software update. I understand your frustration and want to get to the bottom of this. If all else fails, we're prepared to roll back the update for you. I assure you we're pulling out all of the stops to resolve this as promptly as possible. Could you please provide more specifics about the glitches you've encountered? Once we're on the same page, I think we can wrap this up quickly. Looking forward to hearing from you. Thanks. Bye. Well, we've arrived at our fifth and final section for this milestone episode. Negotiating is an art form in business. Sometimes you have to beat around the bush a bit before diving straight into numbers and terms. So let's listen to Steve, who's trying to charm his way into a business deal. Hello, this is Steve from Strategic Partners. I've been mulling over our conversation about a potential collaboration, and it's clear we're both looking to expand our market reach. Your company's expertise could be the missing piece of the puzzle for us. I'd love to hammer out the details and see if we can meet halfway on some of the sticking points. Can we schedule a meeting for next week to hash things out? If our visions align, the sky is the limit for what we can achieve together, I promise you. Looking forward to a fruitful discussion. Now take care of yourself. Well, Steve is certainly playing his cards right there when it comes to setting the stage for negotiation. Let's see if you caught all the nuances through these questions. Question 1. Who is leaving the message? A. The CEO. B. A client. C. Steve from Strategic Partners. Or D. Tim from Quality Tech. Question 2. What is Steve interested in discussing? A. Resolving a complaint. B. Employee benefits. C. A business collaboration. Or D. Launching a new product. Question 3. What does Steve suggest doing next? A. Cancelling the project. B. Scheduling a meeting for next week. C. Waiting for more information. Or D. Immediately signing a contract. Question 4. What idiom did Steve use to indicate that a successful partnership could be extremely successful? A. Meet halfway. B. Hammer out the details. C. The sky's the limit, and D. Hash things out. And question 5. What phrasal verb did Steve use to suggest discussing the details? A. Hammer out, B. Mulling over, C. Hash things out, or D. Meet halfway. Now, how did you get on with those questions? Not an easy exercise, this one, as those of you who were listening carefully will more than likely have detected a rather northern twang or accent of the speaker, not too dissimilar to the host of this show. All very highly suspicious, I must say. However, it is in there just to add a little bit more flavour and realism, because as we are all very much aware that when we're dealing on the international business stage, not everybody speaks with a clear accent that's easy to understand. So, once more, here it is again. Hello, this is Steve from Strategic Partners. I've been mulling over our conversation about a potential collaboration, and it's clear we're both looking to expand our market reach. Your company's expertise could be the missing piece of the puzzle for us. I'd love to hammer out the details and see if we can meet halfway on some of the sticking points. Can we schedule a meeting for next week to hash things out? If our visions align, the sky is the limit for what we can achieve together, I promise you. Looking forward to a fruitful discussion. Now take care of yourself. And there we have it, folks. Episode 50 is in the books, and what a milestone it's been. I hope you enjoyed our special twist on testing your listening comprehension with those answerphone messages. Whether you're at the airport, scheduling a meeting, networking, managing customer complaints, or negotiating a deal, understanding the nuances of business English can truly make or break your success. If you're itching to know how well you fared today, then head over to our website where we've put up an interactive quiz based on this episode. You'll get instant feedback, explanations, and of course, the bragging rights if you knocked it out of the park. Now remember, the key to mastery is practice, practice, practice. So don't be shy about revisiting this episode or checking out our previous episodes for more valuable lessons, insights, and now quizzes. A big shout out to our regular listeners and a warm welcome to those tuning in for the first time. Here's to another 50 episodes and beyond. If you found this episode useful, we'd love to hear from you. Please leave a review on the podcast platform of your choice and share it with your colleagues and friends who might also benefit. Every review and piece of feedback really helps us make the podcast even better and reach a wider audience. This is Rob signing off from the Business English Podcast. Keep those ears sharp and your minds sharper. And until next time, keep it strictly business. You have been listening to the Business English Podcast. Remember to subscribe, leave a review, and we'll see you next time.